Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. How's everybody doing out there today? It is a nice sunny day here, even though we did get some snow. We still have some snow on the ground. Not a lot. We probably got maybe about an inch or so, but cold enough that it's still sticking. So just went outside and actually went to the chicken coop. We had one hen that was laying before, and now we have two. So it was a real nice surprise to walk out there and see two eggs in there. Hey, Farmstead Smith, what is happening today? Happy Sunday to you. I loved your video, by the way. I love the little rabbit there. So, hello, Renaissance Homestead. What is going on from South Australia? How is the weather in South Australia? You guys are pretty much summertime at this point, if I'm not mistaken. That is awesome. We're all wishing it was summer right now. So, just kind of wanted to check in with everybody, see how the weekend's going for you, and what your plans are for the week. You managed to catch? Oh, okay, awesome! Right in the morning, I love it. Well, we appreciate you stopping by. Krista will be probably joining us here a little later on. So, chores all fine for. Yep, yep. I hear you there. So it's Monday, if I'm assuming that right. It's considered Monday in Australia right now. I hope that's right. So, Farmstead Smith, it's been a pain in the Budinsky today. Had to make new passwords for 72 accounts. Holy cow! What'd you have to make a password for 72 accounts for? That is insane. Summer, summer, summer. Yes, indeed. I love summer. I miss summer. Um, I'm glad at least the sun is out right now. It was extremely cloudy and snowy all day yesterday, so uh, I'm glad the chickens were able to get out and enjoy it. So, password breach. Really? That's not good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think we all definitely miss summer right now. I mean, it's great getting in the Christmas spirit. It's great having all the decorations up and everything, but I kind of miss going out to my garden and all the lovely green that was out there. So, hello from Northern Indiana. How are you, Sheila? Good to have you here. Yeah, 72 accounts. That is insane, Farmstead Smith. That sounds like a lot of work on a Sunday. No bueno. So, guys, I wanted to kind of fill you in about some of the things that we got coming up. My wife, Krista, who is also a co-owner on this channel, she's going to be coming up with a few videos this week on some tinctures. So, kind of get you in the mood for that. How many websites do you sign into on the internet? How many websites? I probably sign into, I don't know, maybe 20, if that. So, hey, PH Homestead, how's things in upstate New York? Kimmy's Halls Crafts and More. Good to have you here. Glad everybody is here. Wanted to check in, see how everybody's weekend is going so far. I know we're at the tail end of it, but still wanted to check in. Are you guys taking care of yourselves and making sure you're enjoying everything that life has to offer? Hey, Sheila, how many of you ever signed into and never went back to? Oh, okay. So these were accounts you never used over the past 10 years. Wow. Yeah, that would definitely require some cleaning out of the closet. So PH Homestead, we are good. Weather is holding out, but maybe snow coming. So we just got done with our snow. Came in Friday, ended late last night. Um, we got about an inch, but it got cold. This morning, I went to let the chickens out, and I felt so bad for them. It was like 8 degrees outside, but they are hardy little girls, and I was amazed to see them actually run out, going, "Hey, what's up, man?" Sorry, guys, I'm just kind of reading along as we go here. You got snow for the weekend, Kimmy's Holocross and more. Awesome. I it's not that I hate the snow. I don't. I love the snow around Christmas. And after the holidays, I'm done. No more snow for me. I don't want any more snow after that. That's when I want everything to get green. But of course, that's really when the dead of winter really hit. It really starts to get cold, but you do hate it. I'll hate it for everyone. Yeah, yeah. Well, in Colorado, I've lived here, gosh, since 1982, 82. And I think I've had my fill of snow for the rest of my life. I'm definitely looking forward to someday moving on to greener pastures where it doesn't snow as much. Um, you would love to get snow. Be careful what you ask for. Uh, it's cool to look at, not so fun to drive in. Knitted wool Christmas jumpers. Yeah, I don't really have a Christmas jumper per se. I just hop into my Family Guy Stewie PJ pants, which are kind of my favorite. But other than that, that's pretty much all I got. Oh yeah, I did some winter prepping, the coops. Oh, okay. So PH Homestead for your winter coops. What do you do to kind of get them prepped up? Do you do deep litter, or what do you kind of do on that? There were two 12-car pileups on the highway last night. That sounds like Colorado. I don't know what it is. We've been getting a lot of people moving in from out of state that don't know what snow is and what it's like to drive on it. And they think that slamming on their brake will be fine and dandy. And there's a lot of fender benders that happen because of it. So, deep litter. So I'm doing the deep litter thing. We're doing something kind of different. Maybe you guys do this, maybe you don't. So instead of using the pine shavings that everybody talks about, we use hemp bedding, and it's a little bit more expensive. But I'll tell you, that stuff is just as dry as a bone, and it keeps those girls dry in there too. Um, Central Oregon is a lot like Colorado. Well, that's probably why I want to move to Central Oregon, to be honest with you. But I just don't want as much snow. And everybody tells me Oregon tends to stay a little bit greener than Colorado. So that's kind of what we want. We want someplace where it's a little greener and doesn't get down to sub zero temperatures. I can do without that for the rest of my life. So hemp bedding is good. I'm just too cheap, but it's relatively dry here. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that stuff's expensive. I think we paid 40, $50 for a bale. Yeah, I know it gets up there. Um, I think we're probably gonna kind of alternate it, do some pine shavings and a little bit of hemp at the same time. So Central Oregon isn't greener, just the west side. Yeah, that's kind of where we were looking at. We were looking at, oh gosh, there were a couple of places we were looking at online yesterday. It was Salem, and there's another one that had a really cute name to it. It was called Sweet Home, Oregon, and I guess it's kind of in between Eugene and Portland. I don't know if you know where that's at, but boy, it was a small town. It looked like it was a population of about 9,000. That is a small town. Um, Kind of put it into perspective, we got about, I would say, close to 500,000, a little more than 500,000 here in Colorado Springs, which is Not even close to what it was back in 1982. It was probably less than 200,000. So it's grown a little too much, in my opinion. Um, it's on the path toward Eugene. Yeah, yeah, it's green and didn't get burnt up in the fires this year. So you guys had to deal with those fires too. Yeah, we definitely had our share of fires this year. We were lucky enough that we weren't anywhere near it. It was kind of more northern Colorado, just basically west of Denver. So at least a good 3 hours away from us. We actually live kind of close to the Pikes Peak area, and there was a huge fire. This was probably about 5 years ago. Huge fire, and it you can still see the burn scar. In fact, I'm looking at it right now out my window. We're pretty much nestled right up against the mountain there, but yeah, it actually evacuated this whole area. It got so bad. Detroit was completely burned to the ground. I think Detroit's been burned to the ground for years now. Gosh, I don't know. I don't know if that city's ever going to make a comeback or not. I kind of feel like everybody's kind of looking at Detroit as a lost cause at this point. So we got 6 viewers on here today. That is awesome. Again, this is our very first live, so I definitely appreciate you guys being on. We're going to try to do these at least once a week, just kind of touch base and see how everybody's doing. Detroit, Oregon. There's a Detroit, Oregon. Wow. Okay. Um, boy. Okay. I was thinking Michigan. Yeah. uh, PH Homestead, thank you. Congratulations on the first live. I appreciate that. We were kind of wondering if it was something we should do. We're like, do we want to do a live or do we want to? Yeah, let's see what we can do. I mean, let's get out there and let's try it. So, um, wanted to ask you guys, what are some things that you guys are doing right now to prep for the upcoming gardening season? Now, I understand that it's 3, 4 months away, probably maybe even longer, depending on where you're at. What are you doing to prep for it? Obviously, if you're in Australia, you're knee deep in it right now, which is awesome. Yeah, yeah, great time for us Aussies. Oh yeah, I can only imagine. Boy, the thing I like about Australia is I've seen channels on there where people are growing things like citrus trees and banana trees, things that we can only look at and go, I sure wish that's something I could grow. Um, boy, I miss. I love trees. I love trees that produce any type of fruit, any type of bush that produce fruit. It's awesome. Kimmy's Halls and Crafts in Iowa. How is the weather in Iowa? Every time I think of Iowa, I think of the Music Man. I don't know if you guys remember that or not. You can't put anything into the ground until mid-June on typical years. So we last year were getting our cucumbers ready, and they said, "Okay, we might have an early season this year." This was this past year, and cucumbers were like vining out of control inside, and I was dying to get them out. So I literally took them outside, planted them in it was mid to late May, and guess what? We had a cold front hit 2 days after I transplanted those, and those suckers died. And so I'll tell you, one of the big things I learned from that was do not jump the gun. We all get that itch to just want to get it out there, get it going, and just try to jumpstart summer as much as we can. But I definitely learned the hard way not to do that. Leaf composting, love it. I actually have a video on here. If you haven't checked it out, we did leaf compost in both of our raised garden beds. Temps are not bad here, but have snow. Hey, it's Christmas time. Like I said, I'm okay with it right now. Well, it's after Christmas where I go, sayonara. We are down to the bottom, so No bananas as too dry, but citrus full. Okay, mojito season. Now you're speaking my language. I like that. We actually have in our we have a window, picture window that faces east, and we have a miniature key lime tree that sits in that window. And it's one of those windows where the insulation isn't exactly the greatest, which is actually a good thing because what we do is we just put a curtain and there's a little gap there that we can put plants and it just heats them up. We actually have flowers, blooms just exploding on that tree right now, which is awesome. I have never grown a lime in my life, and now I'm like totally hooked on it. I planted once July 3rd or something, and that night unexpected freeze. What? On July 3rd? That is insane. Okay, that's a little too much to me. Lost the whole garden last spring due to late snow, and yeah, it is like one of the biggest heartbreaking things in the world when you spend months upon months getting your seedlings ready, and you go out there, you get it planted, the sun's on you, you're feeling great, and then all of a sudden you get that boop 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 boop. Hey, guess what? We have a little bit of a cold front coming through tonight. Sorry. Yeah, that's okay. It just screwed up my last 3 months of trying to get everything ready. So, Pathways Homestead. Hello from Kansas. How are you in Kansas? Did you guys get any snow? We just finished ours up this morning. Um, I'm just happy that it's actually sunny out. That is one thing I guess I kind of get spoiled of here. We get over 300 days of sunshine here, so I get spoiled a lot. But on the downside on that, it's also bone dry. Even though we got snow, I'll tell you guys the last time we got snow was probably maybe a month ago, and it was just light dusting. So that's why you see a lot of fires here. Farmstead Smith, you probably get this too. It gets so bone dry, and you got all those forests and all that. It's just a tinderbox at that point when it gets hot enough, or when you get somebody stupid enough to throw a lit cigarette out the window or something. No snow today. Well, I'll bet you guys got some coming in pretty soon. Same here with bone dry 300. Oh, wow. Okay. So you guys do get a lot of sunshine. Uh, wow, that does sound really similar to our climate. Gosh, that's weird. I didn't expect that in Oregon. Um, Hello, my dear. My wife has arrived. She came down from her. What were you watching? Woke. Hulu. Oh, it's amazing. I've never watched it. I've never heard of it, but it sounds interesting. Every once in a while, we like to binge things. You know what we binged last night? Well, we've been binging it for about a week, and she actually introduced me to it. Was Firefly? I've never seen Firefly in my life, and all of a sudden, she introduces me to it, and now I'm like hooked on it. And then they went to the last episode, and I went, "Really? Why did they cancel this?" So sorry, guys, I'm kind of getting behind in the chats here. Uh, Farmstead Smith, we had a wildfire come within 1 mile of our property. Wow, in 2018. That will that'll scare you a little bit, to say the least. Wow, absolutely. You brought your lime tree in for the winter and notice that it has gnats coming in from the soil. Okay, so so first off, I wanted to get Krista in here. So we definitely know about the gnat situation. We in our lime tree, we were getting gnats. We have herbs that are growing on the back counter. They get gnats. Here's what we did to kind of suppress that. I'm going back to that hemp bedding that I was talking about. I actually took a little scoop of that and did about, I don't know, half inch to an inch layer of that and put that on top.
Oh, first I took off a little bit of the top because the gnats actually live right below the soil. So I took off just a little bit of soil, like
right.
an eighth of an inch, fourth of an inch, something like that. And then we did the hemp bedding, and then also really focused on trying to water from below. And Jeremy can probably show the little waters.
Honestly, what I've been doing for the water is just a glass of water, but I water slow. I try not to soak that top layer as much.
Because apparently gnats really like wet soil. So if there's any way you can not water from above, or water as close to the soil as you can and let it dry out a little bit, that will help deter some of those gnats.
Yeah, they like to lay their eggs down in there, and then before you know it, you see just a few gnats, and then about a week later, you see about 20 gnats, which is sucks. Catching up here. Shouldn't have watched it. Oh, for Firefly? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I couldn't believe they canceled it. And I've heard it for years where people are like, why did they cancel it? Why did they cancel it? And I didn't understand it. Now I'm like, why did they cancel it? I wanted to bring you in on the topic here about a couple videos that you got coming up this week. I didn't know if you wanted to share a little bit about it.
Oh yeah, so I've done a couple of videos. I'm just editing them now. On one is making an echinacea tincture, another one is making lavender linen spray, but it's also a really great air freshener, and then also a headache salve, which is made out of lavender from our yard. So
which I need.
Which I'll post this.
Awesome. PH Homestead, no wildfires here, but have issues with strong thunderstorms that produce tornadoes.
Is this where's PH Homestead from?
PH Homestead, are you the one that's in Australia? Type in there when you can. I'm trying to remember where you guys were at.
Probably not because they're using miles.
Miles away from us.
Be right back.
No worries, Farmstead. So we do get tornadoes out in our area. It's mainly more out east. We're kind of nestled up against the mountains, near the foothill of the mountains. So tornadoes normally just pass us by, and about 30, 40 miles east of that is where they touch down.
Oh, New York.
New York.
Oh, I've heard good things about New York.
Okay. So New York definitely gets its share of tornadoes.
I didn't know that though.
New York, upstate New York, I am assuming.
Man.
I, at one point in my former life, used to live in Brooklyn, New York. Went to school out there for acting, believe it or not.
He was in a commercial.
Yeah, I bet you can't find it though. But yeah, I love New York. I miss it, especially upstate, and even parts of Long Island. Went to Mineola, Massapequa. They had a lot of good Mineola Tangelos out there, which I absolutely love. Whenever they come out, we don't get them as often here. I don't know if it's something that they keep east of the Mississippi or what, but we just don't get them as much here. So, wanted to also check in. You're about 35 minutes away from Albany. Okay, I know where you're at. That is a nice area. I went to Syracuse. This was probably about 6-7 years ago, and it was in October, and it was still really nice out. And all of a sudden, someone goes, "Hey, when are you guys going to be getting snow?" And a guy chimes in and goes, "Any day now, lake effect snow." And I just kind of thought that was weird because it was like 60 some degrees. It was green. It looked great out there. And sure enough, 2 days later, cold front hit that lake, and they got about 3 to 4 inches of snow at the drop of a hat. I couldn't believe it. That lake effect snow, I guess, can really catch you off guard. But hey, it's good for the garden. At least you're getting that moisture. So, okay, back Farmstead Smith. What's happening?
Oh, where's Farmstead Smith from?
Farmstead Smith is in Oregon.
Oh, we're in Oregon.
Yep. So she actually has talked a few times on her live feed. If you haven't checked out her live feed, check out her live feed. By the way, check out her channel, Farmstead Smith. she's actually talked quite a bit about places in Oregon, and she knows
Oh,
that we're wanting to get out there.
okay. Well,
So
that's neat.
yeah,
Oh, do you guys make your own oils for? Unfortunately, we don't. We don't have the equipment for it to distill the essential oils. There's some oils I can make that are kind of like infused oils, but it's not as pure and as strong as using like an essential oil distillery. But that's definitely on my wish list. So maybe one day.
we'll get to it.
Yeah.
We're building. We're definitely building.
Yeah.
Farmstead Smith on the other side of Cascades, where you guys want to live. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We just want to be near the woods. I got to be honest. We've seen our share of dry winters, and we're done.
Yeah, and see, I used to live in Alaska, so I'm a lot like Homestead, where I remember that the snow just wouldn't stop, like it wouldn't ever melt. And then moving here, it's totally different because the weather is so different, or it changes so quickly that it can be snowing, and then the next day it can be warm. It's a lot of temperature changes here, so that's one of the issues we come up with. But it's interesting to hear the weather y'all are dealing with.
Sometimes I get a little jealous about it.
Yeah.
Renaissance Homestead, I make soaps, etc., and keep to make lavender oil.
Oh,
Nice,
yummy.
nice. So we do have lavender plants in our backyard that we do try to do something with. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we've made salves out of it. Tried to make a little bit of
Baths,
oil. Yeah, bath.
bath
Oh, that's a
products.
great one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Infusing vinegar so it doesn't smell so bad. Yeah,
Hmm.
there's a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Armstead Smith. Live on the west side, seasonal depression. Yeah. Yeah,
I
and then
yeah, I can imagine. I mean that would get me down too. I guess being 300 days of sunshine a year. Like I said, we get spoiled.
yeah. I remember when I lived in Alaska when we used to go to the hospital. Well, it was like for our doctor's appointments, they would prescribe that you would go to this what they called the SAD room, and it was a whole room of lights. Yeah, and you had to go after your appointment for like at least 15 minutes to help with seasonal effectiveness disorder.
Oh wow.
Well, when you only get 4.5 hours of sunlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. In Alaska, is this around the time of year where there's like no sunlight?
Yeah, well, in Anchorage where I was, it had a little bit, had 4.5 hours of sunlight. Right about now at the not the solstice, the other one.
The solstice?
No, the longest day of the year. I just can't remember the name for it.
Oh, I thought that was the winter solstice.
Probably.
Yeah. About the side you want to live on, where I'm from, and then where you want to live. Huge differences.
Sounds good.
Okay, we will definitely do that. We've definitely been checking things out. I don't know if it's something we're going to do. The move. We're not going to be doing the move for a few years.
We're just planning it.
Right. We have children that are here. Some of them live with us. Some of them don't. And the ones, well, they do part time. I'll say that. And we want to make sure that we're here for them throughout their whole uh, schooling life, I guess you could say, just to make sure that we're there for them. But after that, we're going to hightail it out.
Oh, but if anybody has any gardening issues that they're having right now, or any questions, or any videos you want us to do in the future, this is a good time to just pop in a comment. No pressure, though.
What she
But I think kind of next on our list, we're already thinking about for spring because there's a lot of medicinal herbs we're adding this year. We're pretty much switching out everything that doesn't have a purpose in the garden, meaning if it's strictly ornamental, more than likely we're not keeping it. And so some of those medicinal herbs we're going to grow inside first and sprout. What's the word? Yeah. Grow them so that they do better outside in our changing weather in Colorado.
Yeah, and I mean we really don't have the biggest backyard, and I mean you guys that have been on some of our videos, you can see our backyard's not the biggest in the world. Um, I hate it when pop-ups come up.
Yeah.
Hold on just a second.
But by the time we're done, what do you think we have? Like, how much of an acre did you say? An eighth of an acre? Something
We
crazy
probably got
small.
about an eighth of an acre.
But by the time we're done using our little bit in our front yard and the backyard, I think we're going to have over 75 varieties this year of fruits, vegetables, medicinal herbs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but we use a lot. What we do is we try to get a lot of medicinal herbs that are good for bees too, like bee balm,
echinacea, bee balm.
Oh my gosh,
lavender, sunflowers.
Yeah,
sunflowers are a bee magnet. I did not realize that. We planted, what are the mammoth sunflowers?
Yeah, the ones that grow to Hassel Park Farm.
Hello, how are you?
And Residence Homestead.
Renaissance Homestead.
Are you sure it's not? I think it's Residence.
Resin.
Yeah, because Renaissance is spelled.
Okay, Residence.
But let us know if
I'm glad you can read.
Because I hate to pronounce things wrong.
I do too. Yeah. It makes me look like a weirdo.
Yeah.
Calendula.
Yeah, calendula, and also it has a lot of benefits that we try to use everything that has more than one purpose. So calendula we feed to our chickens to make sure that it's just a way to get their yolks really orange. Another thing we do is a lot of hand salves with them and feed them to the chickens, all that fun stuff. Homesteading Pastor said hello, and Esther's gardening adventure.
Well, hello, Homesteading Pastor.
Yeah.
Glad you're here.
Thank you.
Paragon Ridge Ranch. Good to have you here.
Yeah, it was our first year planting calendula as well, Farmstead Smith.
Yes.
Because I had done marigold in the past, but then I read more about how they're a little bit different. And so I hadn't done it as an adult or planted it as an adult. And it was way easier than we thought.
Yeah.
And it's one of the ones that was it calendula that sticked around even when we got an early snowfall?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty sturdy, surprisingly.
Yeah, I was telling them earlier about when we had the cucumbers ready to go, and they were vining all over the place in here, and we put them out, and a couple days later, cold snap.
Same with the cucamelons. We tried cucamelons this year, which if nobody's heard of cucamelons, they are great. They're little tiny. They're about the size, I don't know, whatever the size is, but they're a cross between cucumbers and watermelons, and you can bite through the skin, and it has this look like the outside of a watermelon, but it tastes more like a cucumber watermelon.
Yeah, and it's got kind of a citrusy, tangy flavor kind of ingrained in it too. So it's like a cucumber with a little bit of citrus, but excellent.
It's not really, it's harder to grow. You're right. Residence Homestead is that it does better in the heat, because once our cold snap hit, it didn't do well at all. But if anybody lives in a little bit warmer climate, cucamelons would do very well, or probably do well inside. We need to research that.
Yeah,
more,
we got to figure that one out.
We definitely want more cucamelons.
Silhouette Park Farm, thank you for the congratulations. Yep, first live. We definitely want to do more of these now that we're getting a little more comfortable in front of the camera, in front of all you lovely people. Cucamelons, thumbs down. You don't like them, and they perform so terribly here.
That's too bad.
So it took ours forever to get going, Farmstead Smith. It really did. And it's one of those plants I read up on, and it does take a while. But once it starts to get going, it takes off. Now, here's the sucky part. We started getting a bunch of cucamelons flowering, getting ready to explode.
We're talking like 50.
Yeah, like 50 of them getting ready to explode. And then September hit, and
we got an early
snowfall.
And then it got hot again, but it doesn't matter. I had already killed it.
Yeah, it was. Mother Nature was definitely bipolar that week. It was bad.
PH Homestead. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say PH Homestead has a good idea that she has almost an acre. He or she has almost an acre. Wow, as an herb garden too. And that's what we're going to do too. Is we're going to have some in pots that we move in so that we can keep them year after year, since some of them don't perennial.
Yeah.
In Colorado, because it's too cold.
Yeah, it's too cold.
But we're either going to keep them in pots, or we're going to dig down in the ground, put a pot in the ground, and then put that pot in there. That way I can take them out easily, and then it still looks good. Or we'll just keep them in the backyard where we have tons of pots.
Absolutely.
Our cucamelons didn't have any pest issues, surprisingly, and we didn't have anything around them that deterred pests either.
Well, that was in the same bed where we had the bok choy.
Oh yeah, everything. Well,
We planted bok choy early in the spring,
you gotta
and
stop hitting it because it's
oh,
hitting
sorry,
me.
and we had, I don't know what kind of fly it was or bug it was, but we started getting holes all over the leaves on the bok choy, and that was right next to the cucamelons. But surprisingly, no, there was no damage on the
No.
cucamelons at all, which was kind of weird.
You just really have to plant it next to something because it's a binding plant, and it's very, very delicate looking. But the leaves are beautiful too for Esther's gardening adventures.
Hmm.
So you just have to have it something that it can vine up. But really, as long as you plant them when it's already warm out and it's going to stay warm out, and somewhere where it gets enough sunlight and all that fun stuff, you'll probably have pretty good luck with it.
And again, a lot of it also has to do with the health of the soil. Make sure that the soil that you're putting in there isn't too sandy, isn't too hard. Just make sure that it's always kind of got like that little bit of moisture in it, just not soaked.
Yeah.
But other than that, they were easier to grow than I thought. It just, again, it took a long time to get them to really get going, but once they did, they took off. You just got to be really patient with them, and sometimes that's hard when you really want a cucumber.
But Esther makes a good point because the bok choy did end up being a sacrificial plant
Yeah,
that we
it did.
figured out. But we ended up we kept growing it and we just fed it to the chickens.
Yeah.
Because then everything has a purpose.
Yep.
Or compost it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Pathways Homestead is asking about our shield. So there is a little bit of a story about the shield. So when Jeremy and I started dating, we met online, we met on Match, and we chatted for a while before we went on a date. And one of the things we talked about was love of Ireland because I've been to Ireland before and I loved it. And Jeremy, it was on our list. Actually, we had a trip booked and everything, but due to COVID, we weren't able to go. And I'm mostly Irish. Once I did the DNA test, and Jeremy, I think, is a lot. You're Scottish or something.
Part Irish, mainly Scottish.
Yeah. But I think, I live in Germany. I used to live in Germany. I have to talk about that. No. Lived. I'm sorry. Lived in Germany.
All right, Farmstead Smith, where in Germany did you live? Because I'm willing to bet you got to have a military spouse. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah,
I'm willing to bet.
I was a former military spouse. That's why I lived in Germany.
Yep.
And I lived in the shield though, we bought it. Did you have we just really I can't remember what this particular one means, but there's a meaning behind it. I know this is the Trinity. Not the Trinity, that in meaning infinity.
So I actually have on my arm here a shield. I always thought that shields were cool. You can't really see it as well, but at the bottom it says Psalm 28:7, where it talks about the Lord is my shield. I always just love that verse. I always love the idea of shields, Celtic shields especially, and
we got matching tattoos, kind of like, because I don't wear my wedding ring all the time because it's an oddly uncomfortable thing for me. So we got a tattoo, so we know we're married. But Esther went to Ireland for their honeymoon. Do you remember where your favorite spot in Ireland was?
PH Homestead, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Oh yeah, I was reading over. Did we ever find out where the person lived in Germany? Did they have to? Oh, Ansbach. Oh, in Catterbach. Okay, Ansbach. I've been to Ansbach before. I had a friend who lived in Ansbach. Wait, let me make sure it's right. Is it about 45 minutes from Baumholder? Well, Baumholder is where I used to live. Baumholder, Trier, things like that. Oh, Joseph Burton says, hello from the someone else from Colorado.
What's up?
Joseph Burton, what side of town do you live on? Just out of curiosity, I'm curious about your weather and stuff like that. We live in Rockrimmon, right by the mountains, so that sometimes affects it.
Yeah, where Baumholder is about an hour from
Nuremberg. Yes, I know where that is too. Yeah, we were somewhat nearby. Oh man, I might have to message you so that we can talk. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to garden in Germany because we had a third story apartment on oh man, I'm forgetting my German, on the main street.
Paragon Ridge Ranch, thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Check on me, goes, ooh, 7 inches of snow so far. I'll cry. Oh, Kilkenny, yes, and Waterford. Yeah, see, I need to spend more time in Waterford because I wasn't able to do that.
No, Kilkenny was one of them we were planning on
the
going
Kilkenny
to.
Castle and Blarney Castle, and
Mm-hmm.
I was able to spend 8 days there. And I think my favorite thing of all was actually Giant's Causeway up in Northern Ireland. And I hear that Oregon has that same type of basalt, I think it's called, columns also. But I think, was it Farmstead Smith that was
in Oregon?
Yeah. Now, okay, yeah. So she might know.
It was yep, military.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a blessing.
You two could probably share a lot of stories.
It was when I was with my ex-husband, but it was a blessing to be able to travel and experience other cultures. Was really life-changing.
It puts a lot of things into perspective. You know, we kind of have our way of thinking in our own little bubble that we call our country, and we tend to forget kind of what's outside of that.
Oh, I like what Paragon Ridge Ranch. Oh no, I'm sorry, I was reading the wrong one. It was Pathways Homestead, and I think they already left, but that they would pray for the shield. Pray, each kid would pick out a shield and pray for it.
That is cool.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Yeah.
It's Festival Kilkenny.
Yeah, we're reading
Shakespeare in the Castle. How awesome would that be? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were ready to go. We were so ready to go, and then all of a sudden, as soon as COVID hit, and we just went, "No, you've got to be kidding me!"
And it was it was after COVID. Yeah, it was this summer. So
Giants Causeway, that's definitely a big one we want to go to.
Yeah.
I want to see what the soil is like, and I know that sounds weird, guys, but I want to figure out if the soil is different there compared to here, Europe soil, I guess you could say.
Because I wasn't as much into gardening whenever I was over. Well, I would garden when I was really young because I grew up vegetarian, but then I didn't get back into it into late adulthood, and so I didn't really look at the soil in that way. So I'm curious too.
Yeah. Everywhere in Ireland. Yeah, it's just, how can you not love Ireland?
Oh, I like that Old Reading Farm. Hi.
Hello, Old Reading Farm. How are you today?
Yeah.
I've checked out their channel as well. Very good channel.
Yeah.
It is so cool kind of seeing some of these lovely channels that I've been looking at actually dropping in on us. So we greatly appreciate it.
I'm going to let you go. I need to get going.
Awesome.
No.
Sorry you had to see that.
Bye, everybody.
It's actually raining today. Oh, I miss rain. Never thought I'd say that, but I do. I like snow. Well, again, snow's okay up till after Christmas, and then it needs to go away. So, guys, I wanted to see if you guys had any questions, or if there was anything that you guys would like to see upcoming on the channel. Just to give you a heads up, and this is going to be probably 3 months down the road, but we are going to be doing more local businesses that we're going to be dropping in on and interviewing them and seeing what they have to offer. We've really enjoyed doing the ones that we've done so far. It's a great way to get connected with the community out there, even if it's not, if you guys aren't in our community, which majority of you aren't, which is fine. It's a great way, though, just to kind of get out and discover what's in your own community. And we want to really stress to support local right now with everything that's going on right now. Try to support those local people because I think they're the ones that are hurting the most right now. Good day, never thought time. Awesome, man. Sorry, guys, I'm catching up on the chat here. Pathways Homestead, thank you. So anyway, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up here in just a few minutes. Gosh, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys getting on here. Um, Again, if there's anything you guys want to see, if there's any ideas you want to throw out as far as businesses to look at, uh, right now we've done a farm and we did a herbal apothecary shop. We do have one coming up in spring. That's basically a floral shop, and there's a couple more. I won't mention the names, but one of them is kind of like an urban homestead supply shop, which awesome. I'll tell you right now, Farmstead Smith, you would love it. It's got tons of beekeeping, uh, whatever there. So, guys, thank you. I appreciate you guys stopping by today. Drop us a line. We love to hear from you. Check us out on our Facebook page, which is Fleetwood Patch. You can also check us out on Instagram and our email, which is fleetwoodpatch@gmail.com. We are going live at this time. Um, Never enough time. I don't know if we're going to be doing this time every week. We're still trying to figure that out, but we will definitely send out a post that shows on a time that we decide on. With kids, sometimes it's a little crazy, so we can't always do the same time, but we'll definitely try to keep it at this time. I think it's a pretty good time for people on the East Coast, and then people on the West Coast. It's early afternoon for you, so we'll definitely try to do that. So, guys, thank you so much. God bless.